Marvel Legacy has come out. Marvel Legacy is their version of DC Rebirth. Now, it's not a carbon copy clone. They both have their pros and their cons, and Marvel Legacy is almost like a giant ad book for all of the oncoming comics. So is DC Rebirth. But that doesn't matter. Today, we're going to run through the Marvel Legacy book so that you can be prepared for what is happening in Marvel now. And at the ending, I will tell you where each and every one of these books goes, and we will flash through the cover so you know what to go buy next to keep up to date on these storylines. It all began 1,000,000 years ago. On Earth, in the Stone Age, there was a hammer, and it lay in the open. The cavemen tried their hardest, but they couldn't lift it. No one could. That was until one man walked forward. He told the cavemen to get the hell away from his hammer, and he wore a helmet with wings on it, a blue tunic, and animal skin parts. He looked down at the hammer, telling it, "I will break you, you stubborn hunk of Ura. I will bend you to my will, even if it takes 1,000,000. And another voice tells him, "You lost it again? It's souped, that's all." A woman on fire tells him, "For an all-father, you're a terrible liar, Lord Odin. I think whenever you throw it, the hammer sees an opportunity to escape." And Odin tells the fire woman, "I think you should mind your own damned business." The burning woman touches down next to him with a foot on the ground. "Your prophecy in battle has become my business, Asgardian. Whether I like it or not, for the Phoenix does not plan on dying here today. Did you see the monster fall?" Odin turns his back to the Phoenix. "Dying? Does this look like Valhalla? Nay, 'tis still just Midgard. Damn me a fool for ever creating this place. It has been nothing but trouble. And I, pretty bird, I saw it fall. 'Twas Mjolnir and the Odin force that finally felled the beast." He reaches down grabbing his hammer, and with everything he has, he picks it up off of the ground. Even the Phoenix comments that it seemingly took a lot of effort to lift it up. He walks to another group of people, one in a panther skin, one with a brand burned into his chest, one with a flaming skull for a head, another with fists of fire and a sorcerer supreme. That's right, they are the Black Panther, Starbrand, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, and Agimoto. One might even call them the Avengers of 10,000,000 BC. This group of heroes from the before times looks over at a being that looks like an alien. It's odd and out of place in this barren wasteland of time, and it is in fact a celestial. A race of cosmic giants as old as time itself. And this one landed on Midgard. He begins to rise, and the team discusses what they should do next, for there are more out there. This thing is huge, and it may crush the earth. And as Odin leads the charge, he shouts, "We will kill it! We will nail its corpse to the moon to warn others not to come here. For this world may be hideous and inbred, but it is not without its protectors." Now in the current day, Robbie Reyes awakens in his car to some tapping on the window. He wakes up confused as to where he is, and he sees the guy tapping on the window is a police officer. Looking around, he hits the gas and he speeds off to discover that he is in fact in South Africa. He races around the streets and the hills until he sees a glowing man in the dust. "Ryder, I knew you'd be the first to come." He punches a hole through the window, telling him, "Robbie Reyes, I am sorry, but I can't let you near it." He grabs Robbie, throwing him to the ground. "You are not ready to face the destruction of what it will bring to this world. None of us are. That is why it has to stay buried, no matter who has to die to keep it that way. No matter who Starbrand has to kill." And that's when the car runs over Starbrand. Robbie gets up, and now he's mad and his head lights on fire. "Right. Your face is about to be destined to be punched 1,000,000 times by the damn Ghost Rider." Meanwhile, in Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, Loki stands there in front of his true family. "I know what you're thinking. This isn't the life I was expecting, that I was destined to have. Join the club. Now, go through the portal and retrieve the trinket." He sends them off on the mission, and the giants find themselves standing in a hidden shield facility. And as they go through, he tells himself, "Hi, I'm Loki, the littlest, most liarish giant. And believe it or not, I'm here to save the world." At the facility, the SHIELD agents walk inside, and they explain that in this facility are things that will blow everyone to hell 1,000 times over. And this is where the worst of the worst is kept. They know everything in this facility, except for that one crate in front of them. 4-1939. Elsewhere on that base, the Giants are making their way through the facility, and the agents request backup ASAP. The guard on top says that they have 2 individuals in or out, and they respond by telling them they won't need the elevator. Thor and Captain America break through the wall, entering the battle. They swing their hammers, their wings, and the shield, beating down on the Giants until one grabs a hostage. That's when Ironheart soars in to shove that giant down. As they make nice and get ready to fight again, the unmarked crate 4-1939 sits nearby, glowing. In another part of the world, a man known as Steve Rogers is sitting in a diner when the news explains what happened. The leader of Hydra was actually a fake Steve Rogers, and he is now in prison. So the question is, where is the real Steve Rogers? While this man is sitting in the diner, the question becomes, does he even know where he is? Because at this point, he seems a little lost as to what is happening next. Can he regain the trust that his evil doppelganger lost for him? And up in Asgardia, the home of the gods, Odin's son is sitting with a beer in his hands and thoughts of being unworthy in his head. He decides that if he can't be worthy, then he'll be drunk. And that's when a Vazar stands on the Rainbow Bridge, looking out over the vast cosmos in front of him. He jumps off as he says 3 words. Mangog is coming. The whole of Asgard shudders without knowing why. Over in the Stark facility, Mary Jane Watson is brought into one of the most secure rooms to see if she can figure out why the body of Tony Stark is missing. The last report said that he was still in a coma from the Civil War II event back in South Africa. The Ghost Rider punches Starbrand in the face, knocking him down. "Stand down, whoever you are. I don't want to hurt you. Well, maybe a little after you dented my car, but the more you push me, the more the hurting is going to happen, whether I like it or not." Starbrand grabs a rock, throwing it at the Ghost Rider. "You're learning to control the demon inside more and more every day, but you still hold back, which means you don't truly understand why you're here or what's at stake. All the more reason for you to fall." The Ghost Rider lands in the streets of a town, and Starbrand flies over, blasting the spot where he landed. These are times that will try us, that will reshape everything that we know, especially those of us who have been here since the beginning, since the Great Fall and the first host. This world is cursed because of us. Its chaos is our greatest legacy. He rockets forward, grabbing the Ghost Rider by the throat. "Beings like us must protect this world from ourselves," and the Ghost Rider replies with fiery hell breath. "Stop the cray and fall the hell down already." Over at the dig site, Ghost Rider slams Starbrand into the ground and the panic ensues. "No, not this place. The Fallen is drawing me here. I can't let the Rider find it. I won't!" The men digging tell him to raise his hands, and he doesn't give them the time of day as he blasts them, killing them, and he soars back into the sky. Meanwhile, Deadpool is in the dark looking at a wall. "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm not exactly sure which sins. If I had to guess, I'd probably say all of them, especially the ones that involve murdering and the various forms of crippling and self-love. Does that count?" And someone outside yells, "This isn't a confessional. It's a restroom in the Roxy Burger. You're under arrest for the death of Phil Coulson. Come out with your hands up." Of course, Deadpool doesn't move, so they shoot through the stall, peppering Deadpool with bullets. As they tear into his body, he simply says, "Thank you, Father. May I have another? Thank you, Father. May I have another?" Over on Bleecker Street, Dr. Strange is feeling something coming. And Iron Fist asks him, "Doc, this might sound strange, but did you have a dream that you were a caveman fighting a god?" And Strange tells him, "Many times." Back with Captain America, Thor, and Ironheart, they are fighting off the Giants as they attack, and one by one they get dropped, but eventually, one of them slips by and grabs a crate. A crate labeled 4-1939. Back in New York City, 2 individuals are overlooking the city. You may know them, you may not, but they're important to our tale. Johnny Blaze, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. So much is going on, Ben. Do you think they even remember us? I mean, they can make a whole team out of Hulks and Thors right now. I worry that the world just doesn't need us anymore, Ben. Spoken like a true moron as usual. Do they need us? You bet my sweet Aunt Petunia they need us. Johnny, now more than ever. Who cares what folks don't remember, as long as we never forget. And he fires the Fantastic Four symbol into the sky. Back out in space is a new intergalactic nation forming, one of Wakanda. And there's a signal shooting back from space, one from Sakaar to Earth, telling the Hulk that it is time to come home. He is needed on his planet again. And back in Africa, the Ghost Rider has a chain wrapped around Starbrand until Starbrand snaps it, telling him, "Accept your defeat! You cannot defeat me!" And the Ghost Rider tells him, "Ghost Riders aren't good at staying down." As Starbrand burns him in the chest, "You will learn. The Starbrand will teach you to be thankful for the quick death I'm about to give you, Rider." And the Ghost Rider looks back at him. "Not afraid of death, but tell me, are you afraid of a little penance?" The penance stairs goes off, burning into Starbrand's soul, and he looks up in horror. So many dead, so many. You are all doomed. The sleeper will wake, the horde will feed, and the host will. And then he explodes. The Ghost Rider reverts back to Robbie Reyes and he asks himself, since when could I do that? This whole thing makes zero sense. He loads back up into his car and he drives out of the dig site, the one that Starbrand was so afraid that he would find. We then see the men digging, moving deeper into it, and we see what they were hiding this whole time. What was so bad that Starbrand needed to murder them? A giant, celestial hand, and it speaks.
Summon the final host. Cleanse them all.
Back in the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, Thor, Cap, and Ironheart are finished, and the agents come down and say that everything is accounted for. At least, what they have records for. Because elsewhere, that giant is running with one box, the one that they got away with, the unmarked one. And just when he thinks that he's going to make a break for it, a truck crashes into him. He gets up furious, calling the driver stupid, so the driver gets out of the cab and walks down to him. You hear me, human? You're dead! And the man looks down at his knuckles and gives them a crack. Nah, not no more, I ain't. Claws pop out of those knuckles, and he swings at the giant's face. And back at a cabin in the woods, Jean Grey approaches it and walks inside, looking at the tomb of one of the greatest heroes that she ever knew, Logan. But this isn't the resting place for that hero anymore, as his tomb has been broken open, and she smiles. Welcome back. We missed you. Back at the truck, Logan pops the top of a beer, and he chugs it down before sticking the can in the giant's open chest wound. He looks over at the crate that he dropped, the 4-1939 crate, and he opens it up to find an Infinity Stone, and as he looks at it, it shines over his face, showing us that this is the right Logan, the young Logan. Ain't we a hell of a pair? Out in space, the Guardians of the Galaxy get a ping. Another Infinity Stone has been found because they're on a journey to find them all, to save the universe. And Loki steps down into the dig site where he hears the voice.
Summon the final host.
And Loki agrees. Now that's a good idea. Why don't we do that? Everything is building to this, the final host coming, the universe is in jeopardy, and the heroes will be needed. There will be a want for legacy, the legacy of saving the world. So, what do? I suppose we do what our kind always does. What has become our legacy? We stand on the shoulders of super geniuses and space gods. We close our eyes and imagine a better, brighter, more amazing tomorrow. Then we bring it to life. Something grand and fun and mind-staggeringly ridiculous. Something full of hope and compassion. Something both real and profoundly mad. Something magical. Something fantastic. Because somewhere else, not in space, not on the planet, between the universes is a hand, and it is reaching out. And a child's hand reaches back. Franklin Richards asks his sister what she's doing as she snaps, telling him, mind your own business. And as they both race off, imagining home and how they can get there. There you have it, Marvel Legacy. If you want to know my opinion on this storyline, I thought this single issue was great, but this single issue doesn't matter. It's going to really come down to how good are the follow-up storylines. Are they good? Are they bad? Are we going to enjoy them? Because one issue does not sell me that Marvel is going to be that much better at this point. So, go ahead and subscribe to this channel to find out what is good going on for Marvel Legacy, what is bad, and what you can tell me you enjoy. And don't forget, you can find out more on Twitter at Comicstorian. I'll see you next time right here.